Everyone thinks they understand the human mind, but behind every smile, gesture, or silence lies a hidden code. Psychology reveals patterns that most people miss, truths that can change the way you see others and yourself. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss the secrets about how your brain really works. Here are 15 fascinating facts you need to know. 1. Talking to yourself sharpens focus. When you verbalize thoughts, your brain treats your own words as commands. Athletes, surgeons, and chess masters all use this trick to improve precision under pressure. It's not madness, it's mastery. Self-talk is your mind acting as both the coach and the player. 2. Messy handwriting often hides a quick mind. The faster the ideas flow, the harder it is for the hand to keep up. Scribbles and uneven letters aren't laziness. They're the traces of thoughts racing ahead of ink. What looks like chaos is often creativity trying to escape too quickly. 3. Negative words stick longer than positive ones. From an evolutionary view, it was more important to remember threats than compliments. That's why a single insult can linger in your mind for days while praise fades quickly. Your brain is wired to protect, not just to please. Pain is remembered louder than kindness. 4. Multitasking lowers your intelligence temporarily. Switching rapidly between tasks forces the brain to reset again and again. The result is a drop in sharpness equal to missing a full night of sleep. You feel busy, but in reality you're draining your clarity. True productivity lies in focus, not juggling. 5. Doodling during conversations improves memory. Idle sketches might look like distraction, but they anchor attention. By occupying the hand, the brain frees itself to lock onto details more deeply. People who doodle often recall more than those who don't. Scribbles are silent memory tools. 6. A racing heartbeat can be mistaken for love. When adrenaline surges, through fear, exercise, or excitement, the brain sometimes labels it as attraction. That's why dates at roller coasters or horror movies feel so intense. Love isn't always in the heart. It can live in the pulse. 7. Mirroring body language is the body's confession of trust. Crossed legs, tilted heads, and similar gestures all show subconscious connection. The body copies what the mind feels. When someone mirrors you, it's an unspoken, "I feel safe with you." Rapport is often built without words. 8. Quiet people often notice more than talkers. While others fill space with noise, silence sharpens observation. The quiet ones pick up on faces, tones, and hidden truths that slip past everyone else. Stillness is not emptiness. It's a lens that sees deeper. 9. Rejection hurts like physical pain. Being excluded lights up the same brain regions as a bruise or cut. That's why heartbreak feels heavy in the chest and loneliness feels crushing. To your nervous system, isolation is danger. The wound is real, even if invisible. 10. Small lies keep the peace. The average person lies once or twice a day, usually with phrases like, "I'm fine," or "I'll be there soon." These aren't betrayals. They're social cushions. Lies can act as shields to soften conflict or protect feelings. Honesty is ideal, but kindness sometimes wears disguise. 11. Chewing gum improves focus and recall. Chewing boosts blood flow to the brain and keeps it awake. Students who chew during exams often perform better, and soldiers once used gum to stay alert in training. It's a simple act that sharpens the mind without caffeine. 12. Calm people in chaos often carry old scars. Their stillness in crisis isn't always natural. It was forged in earlier battles. People who grew up with instability learn to regulate stress under fire. Their calm is survival disguised as composure. What looks like strength is often experience. 13. Creativity thrives when you're slightly tired. Exhaustion lowers mental barriers, allowing unusual ideas to slip through. That's why midnight scribbles sometimes lead to breakthroughs. The tired brain may wander, but in its wandering lies originality. Fatigue is not always weakness. It can be a doorway. 14. Dark humor reveals resilience. Finding laughter in pain isn't cruelty, it's survival. People who laugh at dark jokes often cope better with stress because humor helps them carry what would otherwise crush them. Jokes in the dark are armor against heaviness. 15. Night owls often resist authority. Those awake long after midnight lean toward independence and rebellion. The quiet of the night gives them freedom to think differently. History is full of rebels and creators who worked while the world slept. The darkness breeds nonconformists. 16. Imagination rewires the brain almost like real practice. When you visualize yourself playing piano, shooting basketballs, or giving a speech, the same neural pathways activate as if you were doing it for real. Elite athletes and performers use this to prepare long before the big moment. The brain rehearses, and the body later follows. Thought itself becomes training. 17. People with fewer friends often choose depth over noise. Instead of chasing a crowd, they focus on a handful of strong, loyal bonds. Their connections run deeper, with more honesty and intimacy than large groups usually allow. Quality outweighs quantity in their world. A small circle can be the strongest shield. 18. Writing down worries before bed clears mental clutter. Fears that swirl in the mind feel smaller once they're trapped on paper. The act signals to the brain that the burden has been stored safely. This frees the nervous system for rest. A page full of scribbles is often the gateway to peaceful sleep. 19. Talking to strangers sparks unexpected joy. Even small exchanges, a smile at a cashier, a short chat on the bus, triggers social satisfaction in the brain. Humans are wired for micro-connections, not just deep ones. These little sparks of contact boost mood for hours. Happiness hides in the ordinary. 20. Silence unsettles people because it demands reflection. Empty space in a conversation feels heavy, but not because it lacks meaning. Silence is a mirror that forces us to hear our own inner noise. Many people rush to fill it with chatter to avoid self-confrontation. The quiet reveals what words try to bury. 21. Swearing can be a strange form of honesty. Profanity often slips out when people stop filtering themselves. In those moments, they reveal raw truth rather than polished answers. Swearing can show sincerity, passion, and unmasked emotion. Rough words often carry the real heart behind them. 22. Music with lyrics competes with your thoughts. Your brain can only process one set of words at a time. That's why instrumental music improves focus, while songs with lyrics distract. The language centers get overloaded, pulling energy away from concentration. Silence or pure sound sharpens productivity. 23. Couples who laugh together are more resilient. Humor acts as glue in relationships, softening conflict and deepening intimacy. Inside jokes become proof that both partners see the world the same way. Shared laughter is a rhythm that keeps the bond alive. A relationship with joy outlives one with silence. 24. Deep empathy feels like borrowed pain. Mirror neurons fire when we see others hurt, lighting up as if we were injured ourselves. That's why empathetic people sometimes flinch when witnessing suffering. Compassion isn't just emotional, it's physical. To feel another's pain is to carry it, if only for a moment. 25. Daydreaming is problem-solving in disguise. When the mind wanders, it isn't idle. It's testing scenarios in the background. Many breakthroughs come not during focused work, but in moments of drifting thought. Creativity thrives in freedom, not just discipline. Spacing out is often strategic thinking in disguise. 26. Chasing happiness directly often backfires. The harder you try to capture joy, the more it slips through your fingers. Happiness resists pursuit because it is a byproduct, not a goal. It comes quietly through meaning, growth, and connection. Seek purpose, and happiness follows. 27. Walking speed predicts vitality. People who naturally move with energy often live longer, healthier lives. A brisk stride reflects strong heart health and a body full of vigor. Walking isn't just transport, it's a mirror of life force. The pace of your steps can hint at the length of your journey. 28. Memory changes every time you recall it. Each act of remembering is also an act of rewriting. Details shift, emotions reshape, and the story morphs into what fits your current self. Over years, your most vivid memories may be far from the truth. The past is not fixed. It's edited every time you revisit it. 29. Overthinking is intelligence turned inward. Sharp minds can slice through problems, but they can also cut themselves. Analysis multiplies possibilities until action feels impossible. The strength of intellect becomes a trap when it spirals too far. A bright mind can be its own worst prison. 30. Compliments fuel the brain more than money. Praise lights up reward pathways even faster than financial gain. Humans crave recognition, validation, and belonging above material wealth. A kind word can energize someone for days. For the brain, acknowledgement is richer than riches. 31. Hearing your name activates the brain instantly. No matter how distracted you are, the sound of your own name cuts through the noise like a spotlight. It awakens attention centers because identity is the deepest trigger of focus. That's why people lean in when you use their name in conversation. It's not just polite, it's powerful psychology. 32. The color blue lowers stress. From oceans to skies, blue has always symbolized safety. Seeing it slows heart rate and eases breathing, making people feel calmer and more secure. That's why hospitals, bedrooms, and even apps use blue in design. The brain reads blue as peace itself. 33. Emotion strengthens memory more than logic. Facts fade, but moments tied to love, fear, or grief burn into the mind like carvings in stone. The amygdala makes sure emotional events are stored long-term for survival. That's why you remember heartbreaks or triumphs years later, but forget what you ate last week. Feeling is memory's ink. 34. Smiling can create happiness instead of reflecting it. When you force a smile, even without feeling joy, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. Slowly, mood follows the body's lead. It shows that action can shape emotion, not just the other way around. Smiling is sometimes a rebellion against sadness. 35. Enjoying solitude means emotional independence. People who are comfortable alone aren't lonely, they're strong. They recharge inwardly, without constant validation from others. Solitude gives them clarity, resilience, and freedom from social noise. Being alone becomes their superpower. 36. Anger usually hides softer wounds. Behind rage often sits sadness, fear, or shame. People roar so no one notices their cracks. Anger feels like armor, but it often protects fragility. When you see fury, know it may be pain in disguise. 37. Sharing secrets builds trust faster than time. Every confession is an offering of vulnerability. To hand someone your hidden truth is to invite them closer. That's why whispered secrets bond people more strongly than casual talk ever could. Trust grows in the shadows. 38. Reading fiction grows empathy like exercise. Living inside a character's mind trains you to understand perspectives outside your own. Each story becomes practice in feeling what others feel. That's why avid readers often pick up on emotions others miss. Stories are empathy's workout. 39. Fatigue makes people easier to influence. When someone is tired, their defenses weaken and resistance softens. They agree more quickly, give in to requests, and accept arguments they'd normally fight. Late-night talks or negotiations often end in compliance. Exhaustion opens the door to persuasion. 40. Forgiveness heals the body as well as the heart. Holding grudges raises stress hormones and weakens the immune system. Letting go lowers blood pressure and eases tension. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing, it means freeing yourself. Release is medicine,